Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys.
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Hey wife, did you know that Anchor is sponsoring our show?
Really? Don't we use Anchor to distribute our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts?
Yeah, and we are on just about every other platform available as well, thanks to them.
Why do we use Anchor as our podcasting service?
Well, they make editing and distributing our show a breeze.
What if one of our listeners wants to start their own podcast?
Then they should head over to anchor.fm or download the app to get started.
Awesome! You guys should go do that right now! Husband!
Wife!
Do you remember what happened on Friday?
The only thing I can remember is that Saul likes to throw spears at even his son now, apparently.
Yeah.
I think that was the big thing, and then he doesn't like David at all.
Right.
And he made that clear.
Yeah. The reason that he threw a spear at his own son is because Jonathan was supposed to bring David to dinner. David was a no-show, on account of Saul wants to kill him.
Right, yeah.
And
good reason in my book.
Saul was like, "You stupid son of a whore!"
Right. That's right, he did really say that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And threw a spear at his own son, Jonathan, and Jonathan was like, "Eat gads."
Yeah. Just gotta love this book, huh? It's good stuff.
And so then he went out and was like, "Arrow, further, further." And then he was like, "You need to run away, my lover." And David was like, "Womp, womp."
Yeah.
And so they swore they'd always be friends, and they tearfully parted after making sweet, sweet love.
All right, so this week we are going over what?
That was 1 Samuel chapter 20, and we are about to enter 1 Samuel chapter 21.
All right, let's go see who he throws a spear at this week.
Right? Okay, 1 Samuel chapter 21. David flees from Saul.
Yeah, he does.
And how? David went to the town of Nob.
Nob, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. He did. To see Ahimelech, the priest.
Okay.
Ahimelech.
I think you did that before when they said his name.
I know I did. Ahimelech trembled when he saw him. "Why are you alone?" he asked. "Why is no one with you?"
Yeah, why? He was trembling?
I mean...
Because he was alone?
Nobody ever asked me that.
Right?
"Wife, why are you here by yourself, bitch?"
And then they start trembling, right?
Yeah, and I'm like...
all the time.
Because I got into my fucking car by myself and I drove here without any help from anybody.
I don't understand it. Okay?
Maybe because David is supposed to be like the new king, and so this guy's like, "Where's your...
Maybe he's in on the deal. Maybe he thinks he's supposed to be dead already.
Oh, and he's like, what
the fuck are you doing here, man?
Why aren't you surrounded by people murdering you?"
Right, yeah.
That could be too.
That could be.
Okay. David says, "The king has sent me on a private matter."
Oh.
The private matter being I'm trying not to fucking die. "He told me not to tell anyone why I'm here.
Yeah.
I have told my men where to meet me later."
Okay.
It sounds like he's lying.
Right,
so, okay.
yeah.
Now...
Not that I blame him exactly.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right.
There are definitely good times to lie. This is one of them.
Right, not to die.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what is there to eat? Give me 5 loaves of bread or...
5 loaves of bread?
Or anything else you have.
You're just going to chow down on 5 loaves of bread?
Okay, now last night you and I ate a whole loaf of bread.
Well, it was... Okay.
It was garlic bread.
Yeah.
And it went with our soup, but still.
Right. Garlic bread's good.
It is good, and it had cheese on it.
But 5 loaves of bread?
5 loaves. Maybe this is to last him a few days?
I guess.
Okay,
maybe.
Look. Also, we don't know what their loaves looked like back then.
I suppose you're right.
It could have been smaller.
Okay.
Probably was smaller.
All right.
Okay?
Yep.
So anyway, he says, "Give me 5 loaves of bread or anything else you have."
Or, anything else you have.
Meaning 4, 3, and a grape. Whatever.
Pomegranate.
A pomegranate and a crumb.
There you go.
Yes, anything. We don't have any regular bread. The priest replied.
Yeah.
Priest replied.
Speak much?
Hey, try to say priest replied without
Priest replied.
Without knowing that it's coming up in advance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can't do that now because I already know it's coming up in advance. So.
But there is a holy war. Wait, that is not what it says. You fucked my shit up.
Sorry.
Okay. But there is the holy bread, which you can have if your young men have not slept with any women recently. Oh, because
There's other people?
No, there's not, but he's pretending like, I need some 5 loaves of bread and stuff to take to my guys. Yeah. I'm not just asking for food for me.
Okay.
Sure. So there's holy bread, but only if they haven't slept around lately.
Sure.
Don't worry, David replied. I never allow my men to be with women when we are on a campaign.
What about when they're not on a campaign?
What do? Tie their dicks up? I mean... And since they stay clean even on ordinary trips, how much more on this one?
Right. I don't know. What why?
What?
That okay.
I don't understand.
Right.
Question mark.
Because it's a secret mission that doesn't actually exist.
Right.
That could be why. Because how much they definitely are clean since they don't exist.
They are the cleanest.
Right.
So since there was no other food available, the priest gave him the holy bread, the bread of the presence. Capital letters. Oh. That was placed before the Lord in the tabernacle.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Remember, they I forget what it was used for exactly, but that was a big deal.
It's special bread.
Yeah, and no one's really supposed to touch that shit.
Yeah, it's magic bread.
So,
It had just been replaced that day with fresh bread.
Gotcha.
Okay, so he's like, I'm going to throw this shit out anyways.
I guess.
Right? Now, Doeg, the Edomite, Saul's chief herdsman, was there that day, having been detained before the Lord. David asked Ahimelech, do you have a spear or sword?
Anything to fight, certain people with that might show up?
Just as I will take either 5 loaves of bread or anything, I will also take a sword, spear, or any weapon.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck, a sharp stick will do.
Right. The king's business was so urgent that poof, I didn't even have time to grab a weapon.
Right.
Exclamation point.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is smooth, this David.
Right, yeah.
Too bad. I only have the sword of Goliath the Philistine, whom you killed in the valley of Elah, the priest replied. I only have just the biggest fucking heaviest sword ever. No bigs.
Yeah.
It is wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. Take that if you want it, for there's nothing else here. There's nothing like it, David replied. Give it to me! Exclamation point. Damn. So he got it.
He got it,
He got it.
The big sword.
That's kind of exciting. Like, I didn't know that was a thing that was going to happen.
This was carried by a 9-foot tall dude. Like,
right.
Is he even able to heft this thing? Or
this kid throws rocks. He's the strongest of the strong.
He used a slingshot to fucking knock a hole through a guy's head.
Mm-hmm. And how strong do you have to be?
Well, leverage
indicates
really that you don't really have to be as strong as
right. I'm just
a huge ass sword. So.
I'm pretending for him.
Oh, okay.
He's so strong. He's the ancestor of Jesus. He's the strongest of the strong. I mean, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
So David escaped from Saul and went to King Achish of Gath. Achish of Gath.
Okay.
That king.
Yeah.
But the officers of Achish were unhappy about his being there.
Okay.
Isn't this David, the king of the land? They asked. Isn't he the one that people honor with, like, dances, singing?
Wait. They're referring to him as King David?
Yeah.
Did I miss something again?
No, this whole book is full of whack.
Okay.
We covered this in our Saturday Q&A, that they're all out of order because they're two different stories.
No, I get that.
One that doesn't even fucking belong to him.
I get that. But, like, the last I knew at the dinner that he was fleeing from... Saul was still king, wasn't he?
Right, but keep in mind that per our Q&A on Saturday, there are 2 lands right now, remember?
Right.
And so David is becoming king of the one while Saul is king of the other. Oh. And politically, they are trying to make the writers are trying to make Saul look as evil and crazy as possible to justify all of David's works.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No, But okay.
Well, I mean, does it make sense?
Yeah, I guess.
Given that this book is stupid and history is dumb.
The way they're covering this is completely wrong. Like,
no, it is. It is, totally. But they've stuck stuff in and didn't bother to be like, but does it make sense, though?
Right.
Okay? So, anyway, they're like, isn't he the one the people honor with dances singing, Saul has killed his thousands and David his 10,000s?
Yeah, they definitely did that.
That is definitely the song they heard.
Yep.
David heard these comments, and he was very afraid of what King Achish of Gath might do to him.
Wait, why?
Because he is in the land where they're like, wait, aren't you that one guy that they're singing praises for? And so Saul wants you dead?
Okay. All right.
So, he's like, oh shit, yeah, that's me.
I'm still a little bit confused. I'm still confused.
Just whatever.
We're just going to roll with it.
Yeah, just whatever's happening, just always remember that if we're at a part where David has already been made king, it's because he is being made to look awesome of the king of his land and that Saul's horrible. If we are in a part where he hasn't been made king yet, it's because it's that other stupid story that they just tossed into whatever. Okay?
I'm still confused, but it's okay.
Okay. So David pretended to be insane, scratching on doors and drooling down his beard. Beep, beep. Finally, King Achish said to his men, Must you bring me a madman? Jesus Christ. We already have enough of them around here. Should I let someone like this be my fucking guest? The end.
I mean, come on, help a poor dude out, He's lost his mind.
This guy's bananas.
Right?
The fuck?
He's got a giant sword and he's lost his mind. Man, he might cut his own dick off.
Here go my foreskin. Yeah, so that happened, and he's acting nuts so that he can go on his merry way with his giant sword.
I guess.
But not a staff.
Man.
David got no staff.
Whatever.
I don't know.
It's ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
It was a short chapter.
It's a short chapter.
Let's just roll with it.
Yeah, I'm just going to make it to next week, and then maybe we'll cover the same shit next week as we did this week and find out what the fuck they fucked up this week. So
Right?
That made sense, right?
So that was 1 Samuel chapter 21. Made no sense whatsoever.
Not at all, yeah.
Nope. And tomorrow we will probably be even more confused in 1 Samuel 22, chapter 22.
Yeah.
And I hope that I get to make those crazy sounds again. That was fun.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
As I recall, I believe David had a really large sword he was hefting around, and then he pretended to be crazy by drooling and stuff in front of people so that he didn't get killed.
That's right. That's exactly what happened.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
It was a really short chapter.
It was super short.
Yeah. All right. So that was 1 Samuel chapter 21, and today we are doing
1 Samuel chapter 22.
All right. And before we get into it, I do want to throw a shout out here because we just got a new Patreon subscriber.
Who is it?
His name is Kevin B.
Kevin, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate your support, and he did let us know that he was listening. He heard us. Found out about us. I can't talk.
Try again.
Man, found out about us on Twitter. Man, I'm having problems tonight.
Usually it's me.
I know, right?
Okay, so he found out about us on Twitter.
Yeah, and he said he had tried to read the Bible in the past, and it was boring, and we're not boring, so there you go.
We're anti-boring.
I mean, that's what people say sometimes. So.
Thanks, Kevin. I feel better now.
Yeah. All right. So, are we ready to go read some more Bible in a not boring way?
Yes.
All right, let's go do this.
Okay. Okay, 1 Samuel chapter 22.
Okay.
We're continuing with David's flight.
With his flight?
His fleeing.
Is he still crazy?
I guess. I don't know. It's just there's no title chapter.
Oh,
chapter
so
title.
It's continuing on from from yesterday.
Jesus, are you here?
I'm not. I've got a lot of things on my brain right now.
Okay, well,
I've been arguing on Twitter way too much today.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
it's
a problem.
Why do you do it?
Because I can't stop sometimes. It's like somebody's so wrong that they have to be righted, and then they can't be righted. So I'm like, I just can't stop. And I'm like, oh. And then I have to step back, and I'm like, okay, enough. I gotta quit.
Enough.
I'm muting this motherfucker because they're stupid.
Yes.
So
that is the way.
They can continue to comment all they want, but I'm done. I'm done.
Well, I'm glad you're done with that guy.
I'm done with that guy.
All right. So we're continuing.
Okay.
So David left Gath and escaped to the cave of Adullam.
They let the crazy guy escape with a fucking huge ass sword and drooling?
Yeah.
Wow.
They let him go. They were like, "You too crazy. Get." And so he
Must
ran away.
Must not have had like loony bins or whatever back then.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's not the right. Yeah, sorry.
Can you
Bad
not?
terminology.
Wow.
Well, I was raised in the 80s. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I apologize to everybody because that was wrong and bad.
That was wrong and bad because I spent some time in one of those places
I know.
and we don't call them that.
I realized it as I was saying it, and that's I suck.
You suck hard.
I especially suck tonight because I can't even speak. So
not only are you saying rude shit, but you're saying it very
really
trippingly.
badly. Yeah, right.
Just stop.
I'm
My
just
man.
gonna let you do the rest of the episode.
Oh my god. Anyways. Soon his brothers and all his other relatives joined him there in that cave, the cave of Adullam.
How did they know where to find him exactly? Did Jonathan let him know?
I don't know.
Maybe Jonathan let him know.
That'd
probably be the only one.
Guess that
he's the only person that knew he was going, right?
I mean, he didn't know specifically he was going to the cave of Adullam, so
Right.
maybe he sent letters.
I guess that could be.
Maybe he hired some pigeons.
There you go. Yeah.
Then others began coming, men who were in trouble or in debt or who were just discontented. Until David was the captain of about 400 men.
Wow.
That is not just a few guys came.
No, that's a lot.
400 guys were like, where's the crazy guy with the sword?
right. And nobody seemed to care, apparently. They're just
Right.
like, oh, yeah, there's like 400 people up in that cave. I don't know what's going on. But
Right? I mean, you would notice if 400
I
people
would
were
think
over there
so,
by those caves.
Yeah. I mean, especially if it all happened in like a short period of time. Like, you don't just miss 400 people just walking up to a cave, right?
Right? I don't think. Later, David went to Mizpah in Moab, where he asked the king, "Please allow my father and mother to live here with you until I know what God is going to do for me."
Yeah. Okay.
Can you just take care of my folks? I have no fucking idea what's going on.
Apparently they're in danger, maybe.
I would think,
So.
but he took them to fucking Moab.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what that means at this. Like, there's different. They've been fighting or not fighting, or like Moab has always been kind of like
Ambivalent.
they did fight him at one point, but not
but
really.
then they married them.
Yeah. So it's been a weird relationship with them.
I'm just saying, like, when somebody says, "I took my family to Moab," there's significance there.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely outside of the realm of normal, like, Israelite territories. So,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So David's parents stayed in Moab with the king during the entire time David was living in his stronghold.
Cave.
One day, the prophet Gad told David, "Leave the stronghold and return to the land of Judah."
Okay.
So David went to the forest of Hareth.
Okay.
Okay, that's the end of that little section.
Got it.
Okay?
Yep.
So now we're in the next part of the chapter, which is called Saul Kills the Priests of Nob.
Oh, shit.
You are a knob. What?
I just felt like you're trying to make a stupid joke, and then it was really dumb.
Yes.
Okay.
That is
That's
exactly what
and
happened.
then I called you out on top of that, so sorry.
Fuck you. The news of his arrival in Judah soon reached Saul. Yeah, well, how could it not?
Right, yeah.
At the time, the king was sitting beneath the tamarisk tree on the hill at Gibeah, you know, the tamarisk tree.
Yeah.
Holding a spear and surrounded by his officers. If Saul was holding a spear, I would not be around him because he is
likes
a
to throw those
spear-throwing motherfucker.
Yeah, no. Get the guy like a spear dartboard or something. Be like, dude, just throw it at that.
Remember when they used to have those lawn dart things?
Yeah, they banned that shit out of that.
You know why?
Because kids are dying?
No, one kid died, so they got rid of him. But yet, how many kids die in school shootings and we can't get guns out?
Right, yeah.
Right?
I kind of liked lawn darts. I thought it was a cool idea.
It is a cool idea, except that, you know, they're fucking dangerous.
Right.
But as are darts in general.
I mean, yeah, if you stand in front of a dartboard while somebody's throwing darts, that's not a good idea.
How about if we just don't throw darts? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You could make plastic lawn... I'm sure... Maybe there's plastic lawn darts?
There probably are.
There probably are.
I mean, there's plastic darts,
Right,
for that matter.
yeah.
So, listen here, you men of Benjamin, Saul shouted to his officers when he heard the news. Has that son of Jesse promised every one of you fields and vineyards? Has he promised to make you all generals and captains in his army? Is that why you have conspired against me?
Probably not.
For not one of you told me when my own son made a solemn pact with the son of Jesse. You're not even sorry for me. Ugh. Think of it, my own son encouraging him to kill me, as he is trying to do this very day.
Did anybody know that his son made that pact? Because it was a pretty secret thing, I thought, at the time. Or maybe they found out afterwards.
They probably found out afterwards, but nobody, told.
Somebody fucking told him.
Somebody told him.
Because he knows now.
Right. I mean, okay, it could be a thing where he, asked his son, Jonathan, go get that guy. And Jonathan maybe told him himself, Dad.
It's true, because Jonathan's kind of been upfront about, dude, no, that's not cool.
Dad, you need to chill the fuck out. He's actually a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And you keep trying to kill him, and then you try to kill me.
Right.
What the fuck is wrong with you? I made a pact to this guy. He's my friend, stupid.
Right.
So,
also, he married your daughter.
Yeah. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember
and
how
she
he's
was on
good?
his side, too.
Yeah.
So, maybe think about your stance here.
I'm thinking that probably Jonathan told his dad himself about the pact.
All right.
I mean,
maybe when he didn't have a dart, or a dart. Maybe when he didn't have a spear around,
Yeah. Put your spear down so we could chat.
Right, yeah.
Then Doeg the Edomite, who was standing with Saul's men, spoke up. When I was at Nob, he said, I saw the son of Jesse talking to the priest Ahimelech of Ahitub.
Oh, you
tattle.
asshole.
You
bootlicker. Got that
bootlicker.
guy in trouble, man.
You bootlicker.
And get him killed.
Ahimelech consulted the Lord for him. Then he gave him food.
Oh, man.
And the sword of Goliath the Philistine.
Shit.
God.
You're going to end up with a spear through his ass.
You are a big-ass tattleteller. King Saul immediately sent for Ahimelech and all his family who served as priests at Nob.
Oh, man.
Motherfucker.
Man.
Don't tell...
Gonna kill him and his family?
Yeah,
what's going on here?
Don't tell that guy secrets, I tell ya.
Yeah, this guy's a dick. Mm-hmm. And I feel bad, because earlier on I said I thought he was alright, compared to Samuel, actually.
Yeah.
Samuel was kind of being a dick, and this guy was, doing the right things.
Samuel was being a dick, and you like Saul, and now you're like, fuck Saul?
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and now I'm like, no, this guy's... But that was a different story, too, so...
Yeah.
I don't even know what to think.
Power corrupts.
Right.
When they arrived, Saul shouted at him, Listen to me, you king of not king. My God. Let me start over.
Yeah, sure.
Listen to me, you son of Ahitub.
King.
What is it, my king? Well, because the word king was under
I
it,
gotcha.
and I just transposed the words.
Right.
What is it, my king? Ahimelech asked. Why have you and the son of Jesse conspired against me? Saul commanded.
Yeah, you
demanded.
fuckers.
He demanded. He didn't command. He commanded an answer, but he demanded this question.
Got it. Yeah.
Why did you give him food and a sword? Why have you consulted God for him? Why have you encouraged him to kill me as he is trying to do to this very day?
Well, he's a prophet, right? That's kind of his job.
Okay, but wait. He's not trying to kill you. He's trying to get the fuck away from you killing him.
Yeah.
You are a spear-throwing motherfucker.
Yeah, I never heard anything about
David never
conspiring to kill Saul.
Yeah, David never tried to kill Saul.
All he did was play a fucking harp for you, dude.
Yeah.
Come on now.
But sir, Ahimelech replied, is anyone among all your servants as faithful as David, your son-in-law? Why, he is the captain of your bodyguard and a finely honored member of your household. This was certainly not the first time I had consulted God for him.
Right.
May the king not accuse me and my family in this matter, for I knew nothing at all of any plot against you.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good, fair response.
Because there wasn't a fucking plot against him.
Right. Exactly.
He's the only one plotting to kill anybody.
So Ahimelech's like, my guy, what the fuck?
Right.
You will surely die, Ahimelech, along with your entire family, the king shouted.
Because he's fucking an asshole.
Because he's nuts.
Right.
And he ordered his bodyguards, kill these priests of the Lord, for they are allies and conspirators with David. Let me just repeat what he just said there for a second.
Right.
Kill these priests of the Lord.
Yeah. That sounds like a bad plan.
You're going to have your guys kill priests of the Lord that you are serving. You are serving the Lord?
I don't know how prominent God was at this particular time in Israel, but if you're one of these guys that is being asked to kill the priests, don't you be like, I don't know, man. You got that spear there. I'm gonna just sit this one out. Is that cool?
I would be
I don't want to die, so I don't know what to do here, but
I would be backing out of the room slowly and be like, oh, I just got to call. My wife's in labor. Bye.
oh
I gotta
man,
go.
explosive diarrhea, man. I gotta go.
I'm out. They knew he was running away from me, but they didn't tell me. But Saul's men refused to kill the Lord's priests.
Oh.
Nice.
Well, good on them.
And they didn't even claim diarrhea or wife in labor.
I get the impression that Saul's not very popular right now.
I could see why.
Like I think everybody's kind of recognizing he's gone off the deep end.
Yeah. Then the king said to Doeg, "You do it!" So Doeg the Edomite turned on them and killed them that day. 85 priests in all, still wearing their priestly garments.
85?
Yeah.
One dude gives some guy some bread and a sword, and he kills 85 fucking priests? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Then he went to Nob, the town of the priests, and killed the priests' families, men and women, children and babies, and all the cattle, donkeys, sheep, and goats.
Wow, fuck this guy.
And God let it happen, because he is non-existent and a piece of shit.
Like, wouldn't you... Yeah, God totally had the power to stop this because he's hardened people's hearts. He's made people have the power of the Lord and rise up to defeat people.
Yeah.
And he did none of that right here.
No, he's just like, whatever.
Right.
If he even knows.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
He ain't even paying attention.
Maybe it's outside of that little circle where everything happened in the Middle East. Maybe they went too far.
They went too far afield.
His radar was a little out of tune at that point.
I didn't see that cave. Only Abiathar, one of the sons of Ahimelech, escaped and fled to David. When he told David that Saul had killed all the priests of the Lord, David exclaimed, "I fucking knew it. When I saw Doeg the Edomite there that day, I knew he was sure to tell Saul. Now I have caused the death of all your father's family."
Oh, that's sad.
I'm glad that he's like, that was on me. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
He's empathetic. He cares.
He's a nice guy.
I mean, so far.
Yeah, till he gets in charge.
Right, yeah.
"Stay here with me and don't be afraid. I will protect you with my own life, for the same person now wants to kill us both." The end.
Yeah.
You can hide with me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say other than Saul's a dick and David seems all right and whatever.
I'm sure David will be worse later, but for now,
maybe not. Like you said, they're trying to portray him after the fact as like this
as a good guy,
monumentally wonderful person,
right?
So and that's why there's multiple stories. I'm assuming, like if we delved into this even greater, I'm sure it would be even more prominent as to why those two stories exist,
right?
But yeah, I just. I don't know what to say other than Saul's a dick and David's alright. So.
I mean, according to this, yes.
So far, yeah. And God's a dick.
Definitely.
Because he let 85 fucking priests die.
In his priests of his own. Like, these were the Lord's priests.
Right. I gotta kind of wonder what happened to the guys that refused to kill the priests.
Right.
They didn't cover that, but, we're talking about Saul here, and I have to believe that Saul didn't let that just slide.
Yeah.
So...
Unless they were like, I lost my sword.
Right.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just not feeling it.
But maybe Saul's not wanting to get rid of any soldiers that are still willing to follow him, though, either.
Right.
Because,
they're
he's kind
still there.
Right.
They're just not willing to kill priests.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do,
I don't know.
I mean, that's the ultimate, do you obey orders even when you know they're wrong? Like, kind of like if you're one of the cops in Uvalde and your boss is telling you, don't storm the school, do you follow those orders? Or do you buck orders like it turns out a couple of the cops did and go into the school anyway?
I guess you kind of have to weigh consequences, right? What's the worst consequence that could happen versus the outcome that you could affect?
It's not just the consequences. It's what can you sleep with at night.
Well, and the outcome that you can affect. If your death is going to mean nothing in the end of it, like, okay, let's just say this. You have a family that you take care of, right? Mm-hmm. And let's say that if you don't kill these priests, you're going to die and your family's going to die and somebody else is still going to kill the priests, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that you should kill the priests, but at the same time, the consequences for the person that's going to die remain the same, and your consequences get worse. Your family dies, and you die on top of it.
Okay, so if you were told you have to go kill these people, children, everything, whatever,
right,
or we're going to kill your family, would you be able to do it?
I don't think I could do it. But at the same time, if we're being like logical about it, logically, someone else is going to do it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's not just a matter of weighing the consequences. It's also a matter of what you can sleep with at night, what you can deal with in the depths of your soul.
I don't think I could deal with it. I think what I would probably do if I thought I was going to die for saying no is I would try to fucking kill Saul.
Right.
Because at least I can do something.
Right.
You know? And maybe then my family doesn't die.
Right.
You know? I don't know. I guess that it's it's a really tough situation to be in overall.
I mean, a lot of Germans claimed after the fact, I was just following orders.
Right, but I don't have as much empathy for them because they could have...
What could they have?
Not been as cruel. There's many
Some of them were more enthusiastic than
right,
others.
Right. No, I think that's... I suppose it depends on what you... Like, there was people that worked behind the scenes against Hitler in his ranks, too.
Right.
It depends on what you did with your time and who you were serving and how you were serving it.
Right, that's true.
So, I mean, and I'm not saying... And some people were just grunts. They were the ones fetching the water for the troops or something. Like, how do you be mad at that person when their alternative was to piss off Hitler?
I don't know. That's the question I'm asking.
No, it's a hard question.
Right,
it's a really hard question.
Well, and then there's the sympathetic murder where you see somebody is in a lot of pain. You know that their pain is going to continue, and so you put them out of their misery by killing them quick.
Sure. Or
killing them so that they aren't tortured into giving up information.
Yeah, I mean, No, I mean, that definitely, yes, that is definitely something that could be enacted if you stayed in those horrible situations. You could make it better than it would have been.
Right.
So... And that's horrible to say, but
it's just a question again of what you can live with and what you can do. What's the best good that you can do when there is no good to be done?
Right. All right. Well, we're not going to solve the world's dilemmas tonight on this episode, I don't think.
No, I didn't want to feel too sorry for those.
Yeah.
That were still following Saul, but nor did I want to throw him under the bus entirely.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things that, I think that's one of those ongoing...
philosophical debates.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's something that's been talked about since as long as I can remember. So, I mean, I'm sure it's been going on for a long time, people thinking those thoughts. So,
right.
There we are thinking those thoughts.
Here we are.
All right. Well, now we've rambled on way too long again, as always. I'm sure somebody will call us out on it.
Well, that's what we do.
Yeah.
And, if you don't
you guys could have turned it off like 10 minutes ago and still heard the whole fucking thing.
You know what? I blame you.
Yeah, it's all your fucking fault.
I blame you.
We love you guys.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, all right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Wait, no, that was First Samuel. Chapter 22. Tomorrow we are doing
1 Samuel chapter 23.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
I don't really remember what happened with the Bible. I do remember, mostly because I've got something on my mind, but I remember something that we talked about yesterday, and that was whether or not you should follow the crowd and do what they say, or stand up and against the grain and fight against what's wrong, right?
That was something that you and I discussed.
We went on at length about that.
Yeah.
I only bring it up because I just saw on Twitter today this guy that is, I don't even know how to describe it, but hate. And he is a Christian pastor, preacher, whatever the fuck he is. Don't really give a shit. But he advocated shooting LGBTQIA plus in the back of the head legally. He wants them to be illegal to be that way, and then we prosecute them and shoot them in the back of the head. And I've just kind of had it with these fucking assholes that are saying things like this and justifying it by the Bible. They're fucking terrorists. They're fucking awful, and I hate them. That's all.
Wow. Tell me how you really feel.
That's really how I feel. So, anyway, what happened yesterday in the Bible?
So, anyway, yesterday, and I agree with you, obviously.
Yeah,
completely.
Obviously. Right.
Yesterday, David escaped to a cave, and then Saul was saying, go kill him, and a bunch of the soldiers were like, but maybe not, though.
Right.
But then they went ahead and killed a bunch of priests.
Yeah, like 85 of them, right?
Yeah.
And then escaped.
One escaped, and David's like, you can hide with me. We'll be friends forever.
Right. I'll protect you.
Yeah.
All right, and that was 1 Samuel chapter 22, and today we are doing
1 Samuel chapter 23.
All right, let's go do this.
Okie dokie. Okay. 1 Samuel chapter 23.
Okay.
And this section is called David in the Wilderness. But because you were just railing about LGBTQ being persecuted by a church, it made me think of the musical called Be More Chill.
Yeah.
And the song from it, Michael in the bathroom. And this is David in the wilderness.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Not at all the same, but that's where my brain went.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't get it, but I get it. Because
Well,
I know you.
Yeah.
So,
and
that's the only reason.
It's based on a book, and it's really good. You guys should read it. And if you have an opportunity to watch the musical, it's really good.
Yeah, what wife said.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, sorry. Okay, so anyway, David is in the wilderness.
He's in the wilderness.
Much like all of the Israelites were at one time.
In the wilderness of Zen, weren't they?
Something like that.
I think it was. Pretty sure.
Zin, not Zen.
Whatever. Yeah.
That. I mean, right? Like Zinfandel, not peace.
Sure. Right. Well, yeah.
Okay. So one day, news came to David that the Philistines were at Keilah stealing grain from the threshing floors.
Fuckers.
God damn it.
Why are they always stealing that grain from the threshing floor?
That's where you're supposed to party.
Yeah.
And that's where you're supposed to
Didn't they talk to Ruth? I mean, not Ruth.
Sleep at the foot of somebody's bed.
What was the girl's name? Was it Ruth? It was Ruth.
It was Ruth.
Yeah.
Or Naomi.
Ruth can tell them what threshing floors are for.
Yeah. Yeah, she can. David asked the Lord, should I go and attack them? Yes, go and save Keilah. I pronounced it wrong. Whatever the Lord told him.
You know, God answers a lot of people with specific things back then. Like,
sometimes.
He's like, should I go attack them? Yes. Like,
absolutely, 100%, go.
Do you know what I've never heard of God actually talking to someone and telling them what to do?
Exactly.
Not once.
Not once.
And if they did, they're probably, not quite okay.
Or they
made it up, yeah.
More likely they made it up.
Right, yeah.
I always feel the presence of God. Yeah, what does that mean?
I wish I knew.
I had a friend tell me that. I feel the presence of God and I feel sorry for you that you don't. And I'm like, I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want to hear your bullshit, but I do want to. What the fuck does that mean?
I kind of feel scared for them that they do. Like, what is it like to have a presence?
What is...
Like, I don't get it.
What is the... Were you just, like, really happy one day? Because, there's medication that can induce that feeling.
Is it like when the wind blows? Is that what it is? Like, maybe? Because that happens a lot, the wind blowing.
You know what? We went out to dinner tonight,
yeah.
And I had the most delicious food.
I
was really happy. But I wouldn't say I felt the presence of the Lord. What I felt was satiated by delicious food and a great 80s soundtrack in the background.
Yeah.
And a really nice waitstaff and an excellent Mai Tai.
Right. Generally, there's a logical explanation as to why things are going good or bad.
Yeah.
And you can attribute it to things that are happening in your life or not happening in your life. Like that's generally how it goes.
I was happy. Is that what they mean? I feel the presence of the Lord? No, bitch, you were happy. You were happy. Well, unless it was something else. What is it? Tell me.
They don't fucking know. We know this because we've talked to enough people at this point that are like, yeah, it's all bullshit.
Okay.
So it's bullshit.
Okay. Well,
they're telling themselves that this thing that they're feeling is the Lord, but it's not the Lord. It's just a fucking feeling.
It's got to be like above and beyond happy.
Or above and beyond sad. Like if God is, mad at you, you can see it the other way too. If it's just a matter of how you interpret your life. Basically, I could believe that the lamp in front of me is causing me to have bad juju, but it's not. So
it's just missing a light bulb.
So, yeah, that's it. That's all.
But David's men said, we're afraid even here in Judah. We certainly don't want to go to Keilah to fight the whole Philistine fucking army.
Yeah, that'd be, yeah.
I don't blame them.
Right.
So David asked the Lord again, and again the Lord replied, go to Keilah, for I will help you conquer the Philistines.
Yeah.
Okay. So David and his men went to Keilah.
That's all it took. Just David talking to God one more time, and he's like, guys, God's with us, man.
Yeah,
we're going to go.
I'm sorry, but you have to.
Right.
They slaughtered the Philistines and took all their livestock and rescued the people of Keilah.
Well, there you go. God must be real, right?
I guess. Now, when Abiathar, that was the Heidi guy, son of Ahimelech, fled to David at Keilah, he brought the ephod with him.
I'm so happy he brought the ephod, yeah.
The ephod.
Right.
Saul, Looney Tunes spear-throwing motherfucker,
right,
who called his own son a stupid son of a whore,
soon
learned that David was at Keilah. Good! He exclaimed. We've got him now! God has handed him over to me, for he has trapped himself in a walled town! Exclamation point.
I kind of doubt it. I bet
you're right.
I bet he's wrong.
I bet you're right. Because there's some David coming up, you know?
Right, yeah.
So Saul mobilized his entire army to march to Keilah and besiege David and his men. But David learned of Saul's plan and told Abiathar the priest to bring the ephod and ask the Lord what he should do. Mm-hmm. Then David prayed, "O Lord, God of Israel, I have heard that Saul is planning to come and destroy Keilah because I am here. Will the leaders of Keilah betray me to him? And will Saul actually come as I have heard? O Lord, God of Israel, please tell me."
I have a question. If God is on, David's side, right? And that's what we're supposed to assume here, right?
I guess.
Okay. Why did he have to find out that they were coming through some other means other than God? Wouldn't God have been like, "Hey, dude,
why didn't God
they're coming, man"?
Tell him, or even better, why didn't God just bowl them down?
Right. He could have stopped them. He could have just made them really tired. And
he could have turned their heart. He could have turned their heart.
But I mean, yeah, he could have just put some honey in their way, and they just stopped and eat the honey.
Yeah.
And
the Lord said, "He will come."
No. Okay. So he's not going to stop him. He's on his way.
Again, David asked, "Will the leaders of Keilah betray me and my men to Saul?"
Probably.
And the Lord replied, "Yeah, they will betray you." Boy, they're going to betray you.
We ain't going to make this easy on you. No. Man.
So David and his men, about 600 of them now, left Keilah and began roaming the countryside.
Oh.
Roaming.
Okay.
That doesn't sound very scurry-ish. That sounds like...
They're just wandering around.
We're just going to go this way, and now we're going to go that way.
Right.
I see a path over here. There's a nice bridge with a reflection of flowers over there. Yeah. Word soon reached Saul that David had escaped. So he didn't
escaped because he wasn't there guarding him. He escaped from nobody holding him captive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he didn't go to Keilah after all. Saul was like, "Oh man, he got away."
He couldn't have gone. Okay.
I didn't get there fast enough. He got away.
You can't track an army of 400 people.
Apparently not. 600.
I would think 600. I'm sorry, 600. You can't track 600 people because I would think they would make a mark in the ground where they're trampling over shit. That would be pretty easy to follow.
Maybe
especially for people that are used to that.
Maybe it's so deserty.
I just don't buy it. I don't buy it at all.
I mean, there's gonna be some piss and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
At
the very least, they're going to toss their, chicken bones down or whatever the hell they got with them.
Soda cans and water bottles.
Exactly.
Dorito bags. David now stayed in the strongholds of the wilderness and in the hill country of Ziph. Saul hunted him day after day, but God didn't let Saul find him.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So he was hunting him. Okay.
Okay.
I thought he had just given up.
No, he was hunting, and God was like, "No, go over there."
Right.
Hey, Saul, don't go this way. One day, near Horesh, David received the news that Saul was on the way to Ziph to search for him and kill him.
Okay.
Ziph.
Yeah, that place.
Jonathan, Saul's son, David's lover,
right,
went to find David and encouraged him to stay strong in his faith in God.
So Jonathan was able to find David, but his dad couldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. "Don't be afraid," Jonathan assured him. "My father will never find you. You are going to be the king of Israel, and I will be next to you."
Even though I found you.
"As my father Saul is well aware."
Is he well aware of that? Because he seems like he's trying to stop it with everything he's got.
"But my daddy knows how much I love you."
What, does it say that?
No.
Oh.
It just says, "I will be next to you as my father Saul is well aware."
Well, no, I was just checking because the way you said it sounded like something like you were reading it. So.
No, because I was being Jonathan to your argument.
Got it.
I was like, no, my daddy knows how much I love you, and I'm going to be right next to you.
Got it.
Yeah. I'm going to be right there with you, man.
Yeah.
So the two of them renewed their solemn pact before the Lord. I bet they did. Then Jonathan returned home while David stayed at Horesh. But now the men of Ziph went to Saul and Gibeah, and betrayed David to him.
Oh.
"We know where David is hiding," they said.
Wow.
"He is in the strongholds of Horesh on the hill of Hakilah, which is in the southern part of Jeshimon."
Okay.
They're sing-songing.
I would think that he would know. All you gotta do is name the place, right?
Yeah.
That's not that big of a fucking area.
The tree.
He's gonna know. Yeah, and when you know specific trees and wells, you don't have to name it's this city and this valley by this fucking road thing, whatever, and there's a rock there.
Come down whenever you're ready, O king, and we will catch him and hand him over to you. No, that's what they're saying.
Oh,
I'm reading that.
Okay, no, I know. The sing-songy thing.
Yeah, because they're like, nanny, nanny, boo, boo, we found him. Ha,
okay.
ha, 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 ha.
Right.
We're betraying him.
Got it.
You know?
Yeah.
The Lord bless you, Saul said. At last, someone is concerned about me. Go and check again to be sure of where he is staying. And
Wait. You're going to check again instead of just going.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't been able to find this dude. You're going to give him more leeway to get lost.
Did you ever watch 80s cartoons and movies?
Yeah.
What are they renowned for? James Bond movies. What are they renowned for?
Spilling out the whole fucking plan before they, and then giving the person a chance to get away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they tie him up, and instead of just fucking shooting him, they leave him over a thing of alligators.
Well, I guess at least they come by it naturally. It's in the Bible.
It's
so,
in the Bible. So Saul's still going off, okay?
Yep.
He's saying, someone's finally concerned about me. Go and check again to be sure of where he's staying and who has seen him there.
Yeah.
For I know that he is very crafty. That walking motherfucker who walks.
Whenever I hear the word crafty, I think of the Beastie Boys song. That girl is crafty. I can't think of what
that girl is crafty?
Yeah, something like that. I can't.
I don't know.
It's in the back of my head right now.
I don't know their lyrics very well.
I'm not. I can't do it justice.
Intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic. That's the only one I know. Discover his hiding places, Saul continued, and come back when you are sure. Then I'll go with you. And if he is in the area at all, I'll track him down, even if I have to search every hiding place in Judah.
Yeah.
So he's saying, you track him down, and then I'll go track him down.
Okay.
That's literally what he's saying.
Yeah, it seems like a waste of time and energy, you know?
So the men of Ziph returned home ahead of Saul. Meanwhile, David and his men had moved into the wilderness of Maon, like mayonnaise, in the Araba Valley south of Jeshimon.
So they moved again.
They did.
Okay.
They did.
Yeah.
When David heard that Saul and his men were searching for him,
they left.
He went even farther into the wilderness to the Great Rock.
The Great Rock.
You know, the Great Rock.
Yeah, totally. You know. The Great One.
Not the mediocre rock.
No, the Great One.
Not the Little Rock.
Yeah.
Little Rock. Not Plymouth Rock.
Nope.
Not Hard Rock.
Not Fraggle Rock.
Not Fraggle Rock. The Great Rock.
Right.
Okay. And he remained there in the wilderness of Maon. But Saul kept after him in the wilderness.
Okay.
Saul and David were now on opposite sides of a mountain.
Oh. Dang.
Hello?
Do you think they could see each other? Or are they like circling without being able to see each other?
Round and round the mulberry mountain. Right. The monkey chased the weasel. The monkey stopped to pull up his socks. Pop goes the weasel.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Just as Saul and his men began to close in on David and his men, an urgent message reached Saul that the Philistines were raiding Israel again.
Oh, shit. Not that.
You better
They saw that you're over there focusing on this, and they're like, oh, this is a good time to attack.
Yeah, because you're stupid.
Right.
You're concentrating on this one guy for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
So Saul quit chasing David. He did not pop the weasel. He returned to fight the Philistines.
Damn, he was so close. He was right there on the other side of the fucking mountain, man.
Yeah. Ever since that time, the place where David was camped has been called the Rock of Escape. The Rock of Escape.
There goes that ingenious naming thing that they have in the Bible again.
This is the Rock of Escape. Oh, these are the rocks of escape.
They are big on rocks, you know? Like markers are always rocks and piles of rocks and giant rocks and the great rocks and... You know, there's just so many fucking rocks.
Let's get rocked.
You'd think that after a while you'd start losing track of all the fucking rocks and be like, which rock are we talking about again? Is it that rock or this rock or the great rock or the fucking stupid rock or which rock is it?
Sing another rock song.
No.
Why?
Because I don't want.
You're making me do all the rocks.
We will rock you, you know?
We will rock you.
Yeah, that.
Remember when our child was little?
Yeah, that was the first Google search they ever did.
Was the lyrics to We Will
and that
Rock You.
Definitely our generation thing for our kids. Like they used to remember when we first walked when we were younger and like when we talked and all that kind of crap and what do we remember? We remember their first fucking Google search.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? I have to toot my own horn here just a little bit because at the time, it was like 2008, maybe, 2009, and I had our computer hooked up to our TV, and it was like the first Google Chrome. Like, I was so impressed with myself, and the kids were pretty impressed too.
They were.
Like, wow, computer on TV. Didn't know that was possible, and I'm like, yeah. And then they came out with these little fucking discs here in the last few years, and I'm like, God damn it, showing me up.
Yep.
I had that invented years ago.
Now, how old was our kid when they did the Google search?
I would say
4 or 5.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
In
pretty young.
2000s.
Like, I didn't even know they could fucking type, so.
And what's really funny is, I mean, how old is that fucking song? And so in the 2000s, our kid was looking that song up.
Yeah. No, it was great.
Hilarious.
I love it. Still one of their favorite bands, too.
Yeah. So Saul quit chasing David. Oh, yeah, and that place where he camped has been called the Rock of Escape.
Right.
David then went to live in the strongholds of En-Gedi, the end.
Okay. All right.
Not a lot happening here, just a lot of running and hiding.
Yeah, and then
betraying and
another rock named Rock.
Yep.
So I guess
that was anticlimactic.
David gets to live another day. No spear is going to end up through his gut today, so.
That was just so anticlimactic.
Yeah, well, you can't have excitement all the way through the Bible.
I know.
Shit. It's better than those fucking chapters where they were naming all the fucking people that were married to this person and had these kids and yada, yada, yada.
The Gadapotamus.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's
or
true.
the Ark or any of that shit.
Yeah, no
That stuff was
pomegranates for
boring.
me.
Boring
it's true.
as fuck.
It's true. I will take this
any day.
Chase around the mountain and the Great Rock of Escape.
At least it's a story.
It's true. It's true. You're right.
All right, so that was 1 Samuel chapter 23.
And tomorrow we will be back for 1 Samuel chapter 24.
All right, we'll see you guys then.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
I remember that Saul chased David to a mountain, then turned around because they were getting attacked back at home.
By the Philistines.
That's right.
Do you remember what David's great rock was called?
Was it the Great Rock?
Of Escape.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I got part of it. I mean, I got 2 of the 3 words.
Well, I mean, it was the Great Rock,
2 of the 4 words.
It was called the Rock of Escape.
Right.
Not the Great Rock.
Oh, shit. Well, I suck then.
So,
but it was a rock of something.
The Rock of Ages.
We did that last time.
I know. So that's what happened.
It was a pretty short chapter, so.
Yeah.
And that was what, chapter?
1 Samuel chapter 23. So we're about to read 1 Samuel chapter 24.
All right, let's go do this.
Okie dokie. Okay, 1 Samuel chapter 24.
Okay.
David spares Saul at En-Gedi.
David spares Saul?
Yeah.
Oh, so David's like, fuck this running shit. I'm going to go
get ya.
I'm going to go get him. But then I'm going to spare him, apparently.
Do you know who En-Gedi's is?
Yeah.
She's that photographer that...
That's what I thought.
Did those flower baby pictures.
Right.
Yeah. But it's not... He's not sparing Saul at the En-Gedi's photographs. He's sparing Saul
I didn't think so.
En-Gedi.
Right, which has nothing to do with En-Gedi.
Well, En-Gedi's. It's...
Yeah.
That's what it made me think of.
Some similar letters in there.
Look, sometimes things spark something else in my brain, and that's what happens, and then I spit it out.
Sure.
And that's what the people want to hear.
That's what they want to hear.
That's what they want to hear.
Random bullshit tied together.
That's all this podcast is random bullshit tied together. The fuck? Okay. After Saul returned from fighting the Philistines, he was told that David had gone into the wilderness of En-Gedi.
Okay.
So Saul chose 3,000 elite troops from all Israel and went to search for David and his men near the rocks of the wild goats.
The rocks of the wild goats. I bet they named them because there was wild goats near those rocks.
Well, it's not an all capitalized thing. Like, it's not the official, the rocks of the wild goats.
Oh, okay.
It's just, near some rocks where some wild goats were.
Oh, okay.
Is all they mean.
Fair enough.
Yeah. At the place where the road passes some sheepfolds, Saul went into a cave to relieve himself.
To take a piss?
He peed in a cave. He couldn't...
they're literally... The Bible's covering Saul taking a piss in a cave.
Well, it explains why he went into the cave.
Okay.
He didn't just go into, I wonder what's in this cave.
Sure.
He went in with a specific pee purpose.
Got it. Okay.
But as it happened, David and his men were hiding farther back in that very cave.
Oh, damn.
Now's your opportunity, David's men whispered to him. Today the Lord is telling you, I will certainly put your enemy into your power to do with as you wish.
Huh.
So David crept forward and cut off a piece of the hem of Saul's robe.
Wow.
But then David's conscience began bothering him because he had cut Saul's robe.
It bothered him because he cut his fucking robe?
Yeah. He said to his men, the Lord forbid that I should do this to my Lord the king. I shouldn't attack the Lord's anointed one, for the Lord himself has chosen him.
The Lord himself told you to attack him.
No, the
wait,
guys
no, that's not
said
true.
that the Lord said that.
That's not true.
The guys are saying, like, surely if he's here pissing, like, he's all by himself, there's nobody around him, he's easy pickings.
Right.
Surely that is the Lord telling us, get him.
Got it. Okay.
And David's like, I don't think it works that way.
Okay,
know?
all right.
So David restrained his men and did not let them kill the pissing Saul.
Was he, like, drunk or something? Because how do you not notice somebody coming up with a sword and cutting a piece of fucking clothing off of you?
It was the giant's sword, so
right.
maybe it was special magic powers?
But the giant sword, to me, makes it less fucking,
Look, I'm just putting this out there.
Likely that they didn't see it.
You know what? Pickpockets get away with an awful lot that supposedly you would never feel them pick in your pocket.
No, okay? Right.
I don't know how this works, but maybe it's something similar.
I'm sure God made him extra stealthy.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
After Saul had left the cave and gone on his way, David came out and shouted after him, "My lord the king!" And when Saul looked around, David bowed low before him.
Okay.
Then he shouted to Saul, "Why do you listen to the people who say I am trying to harm you? This very day you can see with your own eyes it isn't true. For the Lord placed you at my mercy back there in the cave. Some of my men told me to kill you, but I spared you. For I said, I will never harm the king. He is the Lord's anointed one."
This has never had anything to do with him wanting to, thinking that other people, that he was going to kill him. It had to do with him being jealous of David.
Right, because he's cuckoo beans.
And now that he's one-upped him in not killing him,
once again,
he's going to be even more fucking jealous, in my opinion.
That's what I would think. "Look, my father, at what I have done. It is a piece of the hem of your robe. I cut it off, but I didn't kill you.
Yeah.
This proves that I am not trying to harm you, and that I have not sinned against you, even though you have been hunting for me to kill me. May the Lord judge between us. Perhaps the Lord will punish you for what you are trying to do to me, but I will never harm you."
Okay.
"As that old proverb says," continues David, "from evil people come evil deeds. So you can be sure I will never harm you, because, I ain't fucking evil."
I thought it was going to be the saying, even Saul prophets? What is it? Even Saul's a prophet?
Even Saul's a prophet.
Yeah.
"Who is the king of Israel trying to catch anyway? Should he spend his time chasing one who is as worthless as a dead dog or a single flea? May the Lord therefore judge which of us is right and punish the guilty one. He is my advocate, and he will rescue me from your power."
Okay.
When David had finished speaking, Saul called back, "Is that really you, my son David?" Then he began to cry.
What?
Oh my God.
What? He's been chasing him all over creation trying to kill him.
And he said to David, "You are a better man than I am, for you have repaid me good for evil. Yes, you have been amazingly kind to me today. For when the Lord put me in a place where you could have killed me, while I had my dick out pissing,
Yeah.
You didn't do it."
Yeah.
"Who else would let his enemy get away when he had him in his power? May the Lord reward you well for the kindness you have shown me today." He's still talking.
This makes no fucking sense, though.
No, suddenly
it really doesn't.
Suddenly he's not bananas anymore.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Okay, but he's still talking and crying. Okay,
all right, sure.
"And now I realize that you are surely going to be king, and that the kingdom of Israel will flourish under your rule. Now swear to me by the Lord that when that happens, you will not kill my family and destroy my line of descendants." Like, my guy, I'm married to your fucking daughter,
Right.
and your son is my best friend / secret lover.
Sure as hell ain't killing them.
I'm not killing them, so I think you're good.
Right.
Dude.
Like, the only person that needs... you were trying to kill me for no fucking reason, really.
To the point that you threw a spear at your own son and called him a stupid son of a whore.
Yeah, you kind of, like, left... normal town and went somewhere else.
So the question is, will we remain normal? Yes. Yes, we will, Saul. I promise. I'll still keep not being the weirdo that you are.
So, again, so Saul's king still here.
Here.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's assuming that David's going to become king for some reason.
Right.
I don't know why exactly, because they haven't really made it clear, other than he let him live, why Saul would become king, except for that maybe we could assume that he's gaining followers as he goes along, because people are like, this guy's better than that guy.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I can think of that might be something.
I don't really know, but I mean, didn't he have him come to dinner because he was like going to be the new king or some shit like that?
No, he wanted to keep him close because he was jealous of him.
But I thought,
like, he was mad because he didn't show, because he was going to kill him that night.
No, I know, that's when he called his son a stupid son of a whore.
Right.
But I thought that another time he was like at dinner because it was a here's the new king guy.
If that was the case, it was in the earlier story when it was a whole different story about how David became king.
Okay, well, remember, we're still in the book of Samuel, right? And where the fuck is Samuel? Who even knows, right?
Sure.
But remember when Samuel was the priesty guy, and then they made Saul king, but then Saul wasn't king, but then Saul was king, and it was like back and forth.
Saul?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
no, not really.
Okay, well, that was way back at the beginning of the book of Samuel.
Okay.
When they had to draw lots for Saul.
Oh,
but
yeah,
why
yeah,
did they
yeah,
do that
okay.
when he was already named the king?
Right.
Maybe it's kind of like that, where he's been named as eventually sometime, but not yet. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
It's very confusing.
I don't know.
It was confusing with Saul, and now it's confusing with David.
But this is more confusing than the stuff with Saul.
No, I agree.
This is more confusing.
I'm just saying maybe it's similar confusion to that nonsense.
I think they're having trouble reconciling stories here because their stories, they're just pulling from multiple different stories that have no actual reference to each other. They're trying to make things work.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you there.
But whatever.
So David promised this to Saul with an oath. This being, I promise I won't kill your kids.
Sure.
You got it.
Yeah.
Then Saul went home, but David and his men went back to their stronghold. The end.
Okay, I guess we're all good now, huh?
I'm so glad that Saul stopped there to take a pee.
Yeah, and that David didn't, kill him.
Yeah.
So, I
Yay,
guess everything's
David.
good. God did them right that day. Guided them correctly. Or something.
God wasn't even involved that day.
I mean, God brought Saul to David according to his men.
I guess.
And then...
No, that's just what his men thought. That's not necessarily what actually happened.
Right, but I bet somebody would say that God was involved in that, so...
But the Bible usually points out when he's involved.
That's true.
So I'm going to say no, this was not...
But the Bible also usually makes a little bit more sense than this story, so...
Does it, though?
A little bit. Not a lot. A little bit. Like, this is just completely, all over the fucking place.
Okay, all of these stories are like that, though. So I kind of call bullshit. They are all either really stupid, nonsensical, confusing, weird. They're just... I don't think we've read through a straightforward story that's just beginning to end without confusion or oddity.
Right.
So...
It's just weird. You would think that the Word of God could be clear.
You would think.
Concise.
Maybe if we weren't reading it with such an agenda.
Right, it's the agenda that's causing the problem.
Goddamn
right?
agendas.
Yeah.
Fucking hate agendas.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have an agenda to blow my nose, which is what I need to do right now.
So we should end the podcast then.
Yeah, that's my agenda.
Okay, well then let's end the podcast.
Okay, so we just finished 1 Samuel chapter 24. And tomorrow we'll do 1 Samuel chapter 25, and that'll be Friday.
Yep.
And so then Saturday we'll do a Q&A, and God only knows what we'll cover there. because
questions.
This whole thing is bullshitty. And then Sunday is our weekly replay. And then Monday we'll be back for 1 Samuel chapter 26.
All right. Well, in the meantime, we will see you guys tomorrow.
Yep. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
Saul took a piss.
He did.
Yeah.
And David did not cut off his dick, but he did cut off his hem.
He did. And then they made up and all was good, apparently.
Apparently.
I mean, I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either.
Like, they're all wanting to kill each other stuff, and they're like, it's all good.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's more chapters.
So
I'm sure that it's not all good.
And it's the Bible, so...
You just never know which way it's going to go.
You don't, yeah. All right, so that was 1 Samuel chapter...
24.
And today we are doing...
1 Samuel chapter 25.
Let's go do this.
Okie dokie. Okay, 1 Samuel chapter 25.
All right.
David and Abigail.
Abigail? Who's Abigail?
I don't know, but it sure is fucking his wife.
It's not. I didn't remember her name, so.
I don't think it.
Well, it could be though.
Wife.
Do we know her name though?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's find out.
I don't think it was Abigail.
Well, I mean.
Oh, this sentence is shocking.
Oh.
It opens with, now Samuel died.
Oh.
There's a whole second book of Samuel.
How do you have a second book of Samuel when Samuel's dead?
What the fuck?
That's messed up.
I'm blown away. My mind is blown. I did not expect that. Now Samuel died, and all Israel gathered for his funeral.
Okay.
How long does it last? A whole nother book?
I don't know.
I mean, we've still got several, 10 chapters, something like that.
Right. Yeah, and then another book.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They buried him at his house in Ramah. Nabal Angers. Oh, I'm so sorry. They did this thing again where that was it for that section.
Oh, okay.
The next one is Nabal angers David.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So they buried him at his house in Ramah, and then the next section is Nabal angers David.
Okay.
Then David moved to the wilderness of Mayonnaise.
He likes that wilderness over there.
He sure does.
The mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah, that one.
There was a wealthy man from Maon who owned property near the town of Carmel. He had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats.
Damn, that is wealthy.
Is it wealthy? I don't know.
Sounds what they said he was wealthy, so that must be wealthy.
Well, it was sheep shearing time.
Okay.
So
Gotta
he
shear them
was
sheep.
busy.
Yep.
I don't know if
or his slaves were busy, one of the two.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I would assume.
Right.
This man's name was Nabal, and his wife Abigail was a sensible and beautiful woman.
Sensible and beautiful.
Smart
Beautiful.
and pretty. She
Wow.
got it all.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
But Nabal, a descendant of Caleb, was crude and mean in all his dealings.
I hate those crude, mean people. Yeah.
All descendants of Caleb are bad. Then David heard that Nabal was shearing his sheep, and so he sent 10 of his young men to Carmel with this message for Nabal.
Okay.
Peace and prosperity to you, your family, and everything you own.
I'm not believing it because he's bad, according to them.
Right?
So, okay.
But he's sending the bad guy.
Right.
Greetings from afar. I am told that it is sheep shearing time. While your shepherds stayed among us near Carmel, we never harmed them, and nothing was ever stolen from them.
Yeah.
Ask your own men, and they will tell you this is true. So, would you be kind to us, since we have come at a time of celebration? Please share any provisions you might have on hand with us and with your friend David. Would you?
Okay.
What? I'm not. What?
I don't know.
They're like, hey, can I come visit?
And
I
take
never
all your shit.
stole from you, so could you feed me and put me up?
Since we didn't steal from you, can you just give us shit then?
Right.
That's weird.
Like, that is not how I go visit. Well, first of all, I don't visit people I don't like.
Right.
Okay, but then if I was gonna go visit somebody, like,
you
I
don't
got
assume
friends
they're
everywhere.
giving you everything.
No, I would be like, hey, I'm gonna be in town during this XYZ days. I don't know what your setup is like. Would it be more appropriate for me to stay at a hotel, or do you have room, or are you in a position to put me up?
Right, you give them an off the hook thing. You know,
yes,
you're off the
let
hook.
them off the hook, for God's sakes, because there are some people, and I'm probably one of them, that don't want you in their house.
Right.
Let them say no gracefully.
Right.
So, that way they can say, oh, now's not a good time, but I'd really like to see you while you're in town.
Yeah, but I'm really thankful you guys didn't steal from me.
Yeah, thank you for not stealing. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure why I have to thank you for that. But
Right? Like, poof, I am so grateful today when I woke up this morning
Yeah.
that I didn't get stolen
yeah,
from.
our child, they didn't steal from us.
They
you know?
didn't. Our child didn't steal from
Yeah,
us.
it's great.
That's a good
We have
day
a really
every
good
day.
child. That's a great child.
I mean, that's a 17-year-old.
Yeah, and they didn't steal from us.
And they didn't steal. And everybody knows that 17-year-olds are bad.
Right, and we still put them up and let them
put
sleep here and stuff.
They are grateful. I gotta
Right,
tell
yeah.
you. They owe us big for that.
Right.
My God. David's young men gave this message to Nabal in David's name, and they waited for a reply. Who is this fellow David? Nabal sneered to the young men.
Yeah.
Who does this son of Jesse think he is?
Right.
I mean, who does this stupid son of a whore think he is what I would have been saying.
But it sounds like these people are invoking his name without actually consulting David.
Yeah.
Is that am I
no,
maybe
David
getting that right?
sent them. David sent them.
David sent them.
Yeah.
Okay.
David's like, hey, you guys, take this note to him.
Oh.
And he's like, telling Nabal, can I come stay at your place and eat all your food?
I thought it was some other dude that invoked his name.
No.
Okay. I'm probably wrong.
You are wrong.
All right. I'm sure you're absolutely right there.
And so Nabal is like, who the fuck does he think he is?
Yeah.
There are lots of servants these days who run away from their masters. Should I take my bread and my water and my meat that I've slaughtered for my shearers and give it to a band of outlaws who come from who even knows where?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
I don't
Sorry.
completely disagree here.
Yeah, he doesn't know you from Jack.
Right.
Like, sorry. That's great that you're Jesse's son.
Sure.
Go in peace, asshole.
I mean, it doesn't sound like he really knows who Jesse is either. He just,
He's just like,
that guy over there, I heard him, but,
maybe.
Who's this son of his?
Maybe he hasn't even heard of Jesse. Who
true.
the fuck knows?
It's true.
I'm just over here trying to shave my sheep.
Yeah.
Or shear them. Shear and shave my sheep
Yeah.
during that time of year.
Right.
So David's young men returned and told him what Nabal had said.
Oh, you were right.
Get your swords, was David's reply.
What the
As he strapped on his own. You won't let me stay at your house, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Wow.
Whoa,
That
holy
escalated
moly.
quickly.
Yeah, that's not cool. Then 400 men started off with David, and 200 remained behind to guard their equipment. Makes sense. Meanwhile, one of Nabal's servants went to Abigail and told her, hey, David sent messengers from the wilderness to greet our master, but he screamed insults at them. These men have been very good to us, and we never suffered any harm from them. Nothing was stolen from us the whole time they were with us.
Oh.
In fact, day and night, they were like a wall of protection to us and the sheep.
This is his wife, right?
Yeah.
And she's like going behind his back saying,
No.
guys.
The servant is going behind Nabal's back and saying, hey, Nabal's wife, I have to tell you something.
Okay.
Your husband's being dumb.
Okay, all right.
You need to know this and figure out what to do.
Right.
For there is going to be trouble for our master and his whole family.
Yeah.
He's so ill-tempered that no one can even talk to him. So this servant did the right thing, I think.
I mean, it sounds that way, yeah.
I mean, based on this story.
Sure. Yeah.
Although I think that I can't eat your food, fuck you, grab a sword.
Right. No, that was again, the wrong reaction.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Definitely.
I mean, maybe things were different back then, but
definitely not equal to the source of ire.
I'd be pretty pissed if I turned somebody down for food and then they came up with 400 people with guns.
Yeah.
I mean, that would not make me happy.
Honestly, I'd be like upset that he asked if I would feed him and his 400 men
right,
in the first
yeah,
place.
that's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah.
Call me out.
Right?
Abigail wasted no time. She quickly gathered 200 loaves of bread, 2 wineskins full of wine, 5 sheep that had been slaughtered, nearly a bushel of roasted grain, 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 fig cakes.
Wait, without consulting her husband?
Apparently.
That's pretty brazen.
She's like, I'm the one that makes this shit. Shut the fuck up.
Still, though, given the times and given where women stood as far as,
No, absolutely. She was very brave, but it sounds like also she's like, don't be a dick.
Right.
You're so stupid. Yes.
Can
I help you?
I see it both ways, like it doesn't make sense why he's doing this. Like
Which
David,
one?
David, sorry. It doesn't make sense why David is attacking them for not feeding them. It also, I can see why if they did protect their people, like they'd be like, hey, could you be like I don't see why the didn't steal part came into play, cuz like obviously if you did steal, then you shouldn't even be fucking asking.
Right. It sounds like maybe they protected them from Samuel or something.
Right.
And so David's like...
Not from Samuel.
I don't...
Saul?
Well, Samuel is dead.
Right,
so,
but Samuel wasn't attacking anybody.
Okay, I don't fucking know. Why did they even mention Samuel died then?
Because he's dead.
Okay.
They mention everybody that dies that's important.
Well, okay, here's all I know. It sounds like somebody was attacking and David and his guys protected this Nabal guy.
Right.
And his family.
Sure.
And so now he's saying, could you please repay the favor?
Right.
So, what was her name? Abigail? Yeah, Abigail packed everything on the donkeys and said to her servants, go on ahead, I will follow you shortly. But she didn't tell her husband Nabal what she was doing. Oh,
that's brave.
That's brave or stupid.
Right.
Good luck, Abigail. You sound like a nice woman.
Right, I hope nothing bad happens to you.
Right? As she was riding her donkey into a mountain ravine, she saw David and his men coming toward her. David had just been saying, a lot of good it did to help this fellow. We protected his flocks in the wilderness, and nothing he owned was lost or stolen, but he has repaid me evil for good. My guy, he just said, no, you can't come to dinner.
Right.
May God strike me and kill me if even one man of his household is still alive tomorrow morning.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
He won't feed you, so you're going to kill everybody.
Right?
Fuck.
And did you just make an oath to God? Are you now going to have to kill everybody? Because...
I'm betting no, because I didn't hear him invoke God, so...
Hold on. He said, may God strike me and kill me if even one man is... Yeah.
That is true, but he didn't actually do an oath or a... he was
cursed.
He cursed, yeah, which is also not good, but...
Right. And he cursed in God's name.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go.
I don't either.
When Abigail saw David, she quickly got off her donkey and bowed low before him. She fell at his feet, and we know about women at men's feet.
Yeah.
And said, I accept all blame in this matter, my lord. Please listen to what I have to say. I know Nabal is a wicked and ill-tempered man. Please don't pay any attention to him. He is a fool, just as his name suggests.
Jesus.
She is throwing him under the fucking bus.
God.
But I never even saw the young men you sent. Now, my lord, as surely as the Lord lives and you live yourself, since the Lord has kept you from murdering and taking vengeance into your own hands, let all your enemy and those who try to harm you be as cursed as Nabal is. And here is a present that I, your servant, have brought to you and your young men. Please forgive me if I have offended you in any way. The Lord will surely reward you with a lasting dynasty, for you are fighting the Lord's battles.
Yeah.
And you have not done wrong throughout your entire life.
Never, including this time where I was going to kill everybody for not feeding me.
She is definitely a bootlicker.
Yeah.
But it sounds like...
But, I mean, David's kind of an asshole here. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, David's definitely an asshole. But it sounds like she anticipated, oh, shit, I'm about to get caught up in a war and I'm not trying to die.
Right.
So she's like, I pick sides immediately.
I mean, if I'm Nabal, I don't want to tell somebody that's got an army to fuck off, that's kind of stupid. I don't agree that David should demand food.
Right.
But then when you get turned down, you shouldn't kill everybody at the very least.
Pick up your swords. Go.
Best case scenario, worst case scenario, whatever. You kill just Nabal, right?
Right.
That's the guy that said no, so...
Exactly.
You kill him, and that's it. You're done.
Yep.
Okay, now, you guys want to feed us now? Okay, great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cook me some bread, woman. Could you imagine how many people we would owe death to? Me and you alone.
Would owe death to?
Yeah.
For not feeding us?
Yeah, we want to come over. No! And would be like, husband, pick up your sword.
I guess.
I was kidding.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time somebody refused to feed us.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'm just saying,
that is true.
When have we asked and somebody refused? I don't know when that would have been.
And then I'm thinking about it, where do we ever go? Your mom's house or my mom's house?
Right.
And they're always none too happy, or more than happy. Jesus, more than happy to feed us. More than happy.
Yes, more than happy.
I started saying none too.
I know, and you're like, your brain is opposite today.
My brain is always opposite. What are you talking about? Okay, so anyway, Abigail is still going on bootlicking.
Yeah.
You've never done any bad all your life.
Right.
Even when you are chased by those who seek to kill you, your life is safe in the care of the Lord your God, secure in his treasure pouch.
Treasure pouch?
Well, maybe it's his nutsack. I mean...
I was just like, what is a treasure pouch?
I don't know. When me and my sister were kids, my mom and dad refer to my dad's man bits as his family jewels.
Well, yeah, I've heard that. That's not uncommon. I've heard that.
So,
but like treasure pouch.
Nutsack.
I mean, maybe.
You're in
it's
God's
a weird way
nutsack.
to refer to being safe with God.
And you're in his nutsack.
Treasure pouch.
You're in his treasure pouch.
I think we should resurrect that. If it didn't mean nutsack before, it should now. Going forward from today.
Definitely.
It should be treasure pouch.
Treasure pouch should be nutsack.
I mean, that's so much better. Treasure pouch.
I will be like, honey, can I stroke your treasure pouch?
And from now on, whenever you say you're going to kick me in the nuts, you have to say you're going to kick me in the treasure pouch.
I am going to punch you in the treasure pouch.
Right, there you go.
Yeah,
see?
Yeah.
So much better.
I love it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But the lives of your enemies, Abigail continued,
okay,
will disappear like stones shot from a sling. Oh, nice callback, Abigail.
Right.
Like stones that, because
she knows them.
You shoot a sling.
Right, yeah. Killed that Goliath guy real good.
Yeah. When the Lord has done all he promised and has made you leader of Israel, don't let this be a blemish on your record. Then your conscience won't have to bear the staggering burden of needless bloodshed and vengeance.
She's doing an awful lot of groveling and talking here.
She's like, my husband is the worst shit cake on the planet, and you are just so fucking awesome that you could be in God's nutsack.
Right, but as much as she's talking, I imagine like David sitting there with like his hand on his hip going, come on, what's the rest of it? I might still kill you all, but what else you got to say?
Right? And when the Lord has done these great things for you, please remember me, your servant. Whew, we finally got down to the end of her little speech there. David replied to Abigail, praise the Lord, the God of Israel, who has sent you to meet me today. Because I was about to kill you.
Yeah, right.
Thank God for your good senses. Bless you for keeping me from murder and from carrying out vengeance with my own hands.
Bless you for keeping me from murder.
Right?
Those words don't sit right with me.
It's like, I don't think that sounds as good as you think it sounds.
If you have to bless somebody for keeping you from murder,
right?
You're fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew, I'm sure glad I ran into this bitch right here, because I was about to go kill her husband and her and all their kids and all their slaves.
Right, yeah. Woof. Thank God I ran into her.
Woof.
Man.
She kept me from murder with her sly tongue.
Yeah.
Reminded me about how I'm such a good rock slinger and shit.
Right.
For I swear by the Lord, David continued, the God of Israel, who has kept me from hurting you, that if you had not hurried out to meet me, not one of Nabal's men would still be alive tomorrow morning.
Yeah, probably not you either.
Right.
So.
Then David accepted her present and told her, return home in peace. I have heard what you said. We will not kill your husband.
Well, that's awfully nice of him.
Thank you for not murdering my husband today.
It's kind of disconcerting to know that if you were an asshole back in these times, that you might get murdered by an army.
Not just murdered, but like you might get your entire town. Not just house, not just family. Your entire town might be murdered.
Yeah, and they'll probably, just for good measure, slaughter all of your livestock too.
Right, exactly.
And then burn it to the ground.
When Abigail arrived home...
Wait. But then they're going to put a stack of rocks there and say, that's where we burned that place. That's the burning rock.
That's the burning rock.
Where we burnt the fuck out of that house.
Oh, my God. When Abigail arrived home, she found that Nabal was throwing a big party. And was celebrating like a king. He was very drunk, so she didn't tell him anything about her meeting with David.
Why would you?
Until dawn the next day.
Why would you tell him at all? If he was already drunk and partying?
They're on the way coming over.
Are they still coming?
I think so.
I thought that she gave him the food and they're like, okay, we're good now.
Yeah, like, here is some road food, and I'll go run up ahead and prepare
all right.
for you.
Okay.
I think that's my guess.
Okay. No, you're probably right.
In the morning, when Nabal was sober, his wife told him what had happened. As a result, he had a stroke! And he lay paralyzed on his bed like a fucking stone! I did not see that coming.
Had a stroke?
He had a stroke!
Oh my God.
That was not on my bingo card.
That was, no. I mean, you know what? I will give the Bible one thing. They surprised the fuck out of me with some of this shit. I'm like, wow.
He had a stroke!
That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy.
Okay, Nabal.
That one got me right in the treasure pouch, man.
About 10 days later, the Lord struck him and he died.
He already had a stroke, which sounded pretty fucking severe if he was like, couldn't even move. So, yeah, okay, he just died.
A stroke is struck.
Right,
you dumb.
yeah, he struck him 10 days ago.
Yeah.
I mean, if you struck him at all.
What you mean to say is he
but...
had a stroke from what she said and slowly died from it.
Right, yeah,
his heart
that's
gave
exactly what happened.
Because he got so fucking mad on the aftermath of a wild drunk fest.
Right,
so
right,
he was like, I'm just over here trying to sleep off my hangover, and you fucked up my morning.
Well,
whatever.
And based on what their description of was, I mean, he sounded like a blustery fuck anyway, so he's probably due to have a stroke regardless.
He probably had horrible blood pressure.
Yeah.
He had a MAGA hat before MAGA hats were cool.
Right, right.
When David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, oh, praise the Lord, who has avenged the insult I received from Nabal and has kept me from doing it myself.
Yeah.
Nabal has received the punishment for his sin. Yeah, that's why he died.
Not feeding someone, the punishment and sin is not feeding them, and then the punishment is death.
Death. By stroke.
Fucking
paralyzed death. For 10 days.
And then death.
That
That is the punishment for not feeding somebody.
Yeah.
That is some fucked up shit. Because you know what? It's not actually a fucking God law. It's just what David got pissed off about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is
that day.
This is fucked.
Yes.
Like, this whole thing is fucked.
This whole
it's not
thing
that.
is
Okay,
stupid.
I will agree even that Nabal might have been a shit motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
sure.
Who cares though? He just didn't feed you, and you want him dead?
Like, you can't just tell me this guy was always rude and mean. You have to give me examples. And I'm sorry, but saying, no, I don't know who you are. No, you cannot come to my house and eat all my food. Yeah. That is not an example.
It doesn't sound like you would have examples if you didn't even know him at all. So,
right.
Fuck.
Right.
There's no reason to be that mad at him or you're going to kill his whole family.
Exactly.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Then David sent messengers to Abigail to ask her to become his wife. What?
He's already married.
Apparently, it's good to be the king, yo.
I guess.
You remember, they're allowed to have more than one wife.
I guess, but are we also supposed to forget that he had a wife already at this point?
I don't fucking know.
Or are we legitimately... I mean, Moses had 2 wives, so, like, it wasn't as big of a... Like, there's not as big of a stigma on multiple wives in the Old Testament at all.
A lot of Christian faiths practice this because of that.
Sure.
They use that as a reason to be allowed to have more than one wife.
Right, but, like, the biggest thing that I hear, like, when they talk about gay marriage and stuff like that, their whole pitch is one man, one woman, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck you.
Actually,
that is
it was
not at all how it
one man,
went.
many women.
Right.
And they had no fucking choice in the matter, and also fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, marriage is not what it's not this, like, beautiful thing that you're trying to portray it as.
They were not in love.
No.
They were bought and sold as chattel.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a chattel, there are lots of countries you can go to and be that.
Sure.
I don't want to be a chattel.
Right. No, I agree.
I want to be a cussing old bitch over here on a microphone.
Well, sounds like you got your wish.
I did. I love you, husband.
Love you, darling.
When the messengers arrived at Carmel, they told Abigail, hey, David has sent us back to take you to marry him. Could you imagine? That's so fucking romantic.
Hey, guess what? You're getting married.
Hey, did you know? You might not have heard.
Aren't you so fucking happy?
She bowed low to the ground and responded, your servant would be happy to marry David.
Oh my God.
I'm sure she would. You know, she's going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And she knows she's in his good graces. She already knows that she pleased him.
Well, it sounds like to me that David's making a good fucking business move here. Because the dude was rich.
Yeah.
So he's getting all that shit.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm going to marry you and I'm going to take all that shit that he's got.
Yep.
So
that's what he gets.
Sounds like good business dealing.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I would even be willing to become a slave washing the feet of his servants.
You probably will be.
Oh, my God. Why? Why are women... Like, okay, I understand that you were property, but did you have to be so fucking excited about it?
Right, yeah. Don't be eager to be a slave.
Yeah.
That's
You're going to be the wife. Just be the wife. You don't have to be the slave and the wife.
Right. Well, let's keep in mind, though, that women were not writing this fucking Bible.
I know, that's true.
So this was a man writing this, and they decided that this woman was eager to be a fucking slave.
They decided, women are lucky, and women love being slaves.
Right. They should be glad they get to wash my servants' feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Men do all the hard work.
Of course, yeah.
Quickly getting ready, she took along 5 of her servant girls as attendants, mounted her donkey, and went with David's messengers. And so she became his wife. David also married Ahinoam from Jezreel, making both of them his wives.
I have to wonder because they kind of like do this thing where they just make them their wife, right?
Yeah.
In the Old Testament, was there a ceremony or was it just like if I say you're my wife?
You belong to
I know
me
there
now.
was the whole like sandal thing.
Right.
If you were
divorcing.
Right. So like there's that bit, but was there an actual ceremony to get married, or if somebody said you're their wife, you're just their wife?
It almost sounds like they just say so.
That's kind of what I'm gathering too.
You
But
don't have a ceremony for exchanging slaves or for buying sheep.
I do think that's an interesting question, though, because like I don't know the answer to the Old Testament marriage thing,
Right.
so that would be interesting to find out.
Sure. Okay, so he married this other chick too. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, he married 2 chicks?
So she became his wife. David also married Ahinoam from Jezreel, making both of them his wives.
Just threw this other chick in out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I had just read that when you started going on
I'm
about
sorry. I
wedding
was going off
ceremonies.
about shit,
Yeah.
so.
Saul, meanwhile, had given his daughter Michal, David's wife, to a man from Gallim named Palti, son of Laish.
Wait,
The
what
end.
what?
Hold on, what?
I don't want her anymore. I want these 2 over here. So could you get rid of her for me?
Well,
Even though she saved my ass a while back, you know?
it doesn't say that David was happy about that move.
I don't...
It just says...
But the last we knew about Saul and David, they were getting along, right?
Uh-huh.
So what is up with... Okay, now we have a Q&A.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we were kind of unsure before we were going into this episode
But-
what our Q&A would be, but now I think we have a solid...
Like, how many
solid Q&A
wives...
here.
What does it mean to have a wife? And what was his relationship with Michal?
And what's up with this other chick that they just threw in at the last second? Like,
Right.
who the fuck... Like, okay, Abigail, while I don't agree with the whole scenario, I can understand how that took place at some level.
It's a business deal, and also he's making right and taking care of her.
But then, like, the last sentence or two, they're like, oh, and Michael's gone and this one's in.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah,
What?
the end.
What
That's
the
the end of the
fuck?
chapter.
Like, such writing ability just never existed, right? It's such great stuff. It's a...
Yeah, I
I
gotta
don't even
know.
know.
I gotta know more about all these wives he's got, and that
Yeah.
he's like passing them around willy nilly.
Right. Yeah, no, and he sounds like a fucking asshole.
Yeah,
Just saying.
David does sound like an asshole.
I don't...
He sounds like he gets mad real easy.
Yeah. No, I'm not okay with that. But, okay, well, there we are. He's got 2 new wives and one's gone, and
Michael's
that
out,
guy died
but-
of a stroke. So, what was his name?
Nabal.
Nabal died of a stroke.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, and Samuel's dead.
Samuel's dead.
Even though we're still in Samuel, and then we got another book of Samuel somehow.
Yeah, I think there's 31 chapters. We're on chapter 25, so we've got 6 more to go.
Yeah. Maybe.
And then,
Maybe. You know how they like to rewrite stories?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody didn't like Samuel 1, like 1 Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, fuck it, we're going to rewrite this as 2 Samuel, and we're just going to throw it on here as another story.
don't tell
Or
me
maybe
that.
they're like, maybe it's like a prequel, and they're going to cover like his earlier days
Oh
or
my
something.
gosh.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that. That'll make me tired. Like, just the thought literally made me hiccup.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out when we get there, won't we?
Yeah, so that was 1 Samuel chapter 25,
Yep.
and tomorrow will be our Q&A.
Yep.
Sunday will be our weekly replay, and then we'll be back Monday for 1 Samuel chapter 26.
All right, we'll see you guys then.
Bye.
Bye.
Husband,
Wife.
it's Saturday Q&A.
It sure the fuck is.
And today, do you know what we're talking about?
We are talking about David and marriage and bullshittery
And weddings.
and weddings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. David had lots of wives.
He did. Well, it depends on what you consider lots of wives.
Oh, no. Trust me.
Oh, he had lots of wives?
He had lots of wives. We're going to get into it.
I didn't know about the lots of wives yet. I knew about a few wives so far.
You've been introduced to a few, but trust me, he had lots.
Okay. All right. Lots of wives.
Yep.
All right. And there anything else we're covering? Just weddings and David and wives?
That's it.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get into this shit.
All right. Sounds
All right.
good. Okay, let's get into this.
Okay.
So, before I talk about his wives, let me just tell you something real quick about David that I didn't know.
Okay.
He is described in the Hebrew Bible as being the 3rd king of the United Monarchy.
The United Monarchy. So this is like Judah and
Israel
Israel.
and Judah together
He's
combined.
the 3rd? united
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
That's really weird because it feels like they're kind of pulling it together right now.
Right.
But, okay.
He's the third king of the united one after Israel and Judah.
After Israel and Judah?
Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. That's the names of the countries.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Sorry, nothing. After Saul and Ishbal is what I meant to say.
Where the fuck did it... I mean, we know about Saul, but who the fuck's Ishbal?
Right?
And how does he come between David and Saul?
I have no idea.
Like, David and Saul are, like, butting right up against each other.
Okay, but this is from history, not from the Bible.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, this information that I got.
Okay.
So, this isn't just, like, pretend stuff. This is actual history. It went Saul, Ishbal, David, Solomon, Rehoboam.
Okay.
Rehoboam.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. And Saul was between 1047 and 1010 BCE.
Okay.
And then Ishbal was 1010 to 1008 BC.
Oh, well, maybe that's why he doesn't get a mention. He was a short-lived
He was only there
figure.
for 2 years.
Right. They're like, let's just slide over this guy.
Yeah. And then David was king from 1008 to 970.
Ah.
So 30 some odd years, you know?
So they skipped the 2-year guy because inconvenient.
Yeah, I guess. So just thought I would put that out there first.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so David had 8 wives. Would we call that lots of wives?
Yeah, I think we can call 8 lots, at least by today's terms.
Yeah.
For sure.
Lots of wives.
Right.
Okay, so we know the first 3, and I'm going to get into them in a minute, but that was Michael, Ahinoam, and Abigail.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
And then the other 5 that we haven't met yet are Maacah, Haggith, Abital, Eglah, and Bathsheba.
I've heard of Bathsheba.
So have I.
Huh.
I don't know anything about
I
her.
don't know why I've heard of Bathsheba.
Yeah, I don't know anything about her, but yeah, I know that name.
Right.
But let's talk about his first 3 wives just a little bit more.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's where we are.
Yeah,
so, okay.
Exactly.
Sure.
Okay, so the first one, Michael, was Saul's younger daughter, remember?
Okay, yeah.
And remember, Michael was definitely in love with David?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, she
defended him.
She defended him. She risked her life.
Right.
And stood up for him and sent Saul's guards away and helped hide him and stuff.
Yep.
And so, but it also specifically indicated or stated that Michael loved David.
Yeah.
You know what it didn't state?
That David loved Michael.
Right. And you know what else?
What?
After he leaves the court, he made no attempt to contact her again.
Oh, wow. So basically when Saul, like, gave her up to another man, he's like, dude's not coming back, so you need a man.
You need a man, and that's why he gave her to somebody else.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. That was kind of shit of David.
I mean, we don't know the ins and outs. For all we know, Michael was a beard because he was actually plugging Jonathan.
Could be.
You know? Like, she could have been like, I know you and my brother are in love, so I'm going to, marry you to help keep you in the family.
Sure.
So we don't know how that went. That might have been a happy annulment. Who fucking knows?
Could be.
But she's still listed as his first wife.
Okay.
All
right.
There's gonna be some stuff coming up. She comes back into play.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I don't want to get into it because
that spoils the story
ahead of where we're at.
Right.
But she does come back into play.
Okay.
And then so just keep in your mind that Michael was given to another man.
Right.
After David.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so number 2, you would think it would be Abigail listed next.
But it was the one that got like 2 seconds of a mention?
Yes. And I'm going to say a couple things about her.
Okay. Yeah.
Her name is Ahinoam, and she's just some woman from Jezreel. We don't know.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
She also shared had the same name as Saul's wife. And so some scholars wonder if it wasn't the same person. Like, did you steal your
Maybe that's why Saul's still fucking pissed.
There's some question of that. Like, was it the same person?
That's
now,
interesting.
most scholars think no. But it's still worth, like,
it definitely raises an eyebrow, right?
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah.
Regardless, she was probably already married to David when the conflict with Nabal erupted,
Okay.
even though they didn't mention it.
Yeah.
But she's usually mentioned before Abigail in the Bible. Like, they don't say Abigail and Ahinoam. They say Ahinoam and Abigail were his wives.
Ah. Okay.
Also, she delivered David's first son.
Oh, okay.
So she probably was around before Abigail.
Right.
And
as far as the getting it on got on.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And how do you feel? Do you think that she might be Saul's wife?
I would have to read a lot more into the actual histories and the,
it's all supposition. You would just have to guess.
Right. It would purely be speculation.
I'm asking you to speculate. What do you think?
I mean, it's interesting that he married somebody of the same name and that him and Saul were at such odds.
For no reason, seemingly.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, it could make sense. It could.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it does, but it could.
It could, definitely. Okay, so Abigail, the third wife, which, again, she's always listed as the third wife.
Right.
She was the one that married David after Nabal had a stroke.
Right.
And the Talmud regards her as one of Tanakh's. I don't know who Tanakh is. I didn't get into all that because that's the Talmud.
Right.
But the Talmud regards her as one of Tanakh's 7 female prophets.
Huh.
Because of her choice of words and the way she placated David.
Yeah.
Like, she saw which way...
This woman can talk to men and...
No, it wasn't just that she was able to talk to men and persuade him. It was that she sussed out the situation immediately.
Got it.
Saw that Nabal was being really fucking stupid and went and said all the things that needed to be said because she saw which way the winds of history were blowing.
It just doesn't seem that difficult to suss out. Like, dude was an asshole. He's pissing off this guy that's got a fucking army, and, maybe we shouldn't.
But it wasn't just in that small town situation.
Okay.
Some of the things that she said were larger than just small town, like needless bloodshed, that you'll be guilty of needless bloodshed, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And I didn't write down all the things that were said, but she said some shit that really came back to haunt. Like, we're going to see some of the shit that she said.
Yeah.
So she was very intelligent is the point.
Got it. So, an intelligent woman must be a prophet, must be God's word.
I mean, at the very least, she was beautiful and smart.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So there's some question whether David married her because he was attracted to her.
Right.
Because we know all men are led by their penises. Or because it was an astute political move because Nabal had high status.
I mean, that's kind of what I thought.
But also he was rich.
Yeah. No,
Those are separate, though.
Right.
Power and money.
Sure.
And she was beautiful and smart. So
none of that could hurt.
Yeah. It was all a win-win for him.
Right.
So that is what I have about David's many, many wives.
Well, at least the first 3 of the many wives.
Well, and then we named the other 5.
Sure.
For fuck's sake.
Right.
So we're going to meet the other 5 coming up here shortly.
Yeah.
And that's exciting. But the other thing that you had a question about was, did they have ceremonies for weddings back then the way we do today?
It's very, they don't ever mention ceremonies, really. At least not in the Bible that I've seen so far.
From what I could find, there were ceremonies, but they were much less intricate.
Yeah.
The wedding, the marriage consisted of a 2-step process. Okay, first was the betrothal, and that was a contract process.
Okay.
Where the prospective groom would meet with the bride's father, and they would, bang out the details of how
dowries and all that other shit that's got to be worked out.
His willingness to provide for her, as well as the terms under which he would propose, and again, the bride price.
I can't even imagine having a conversation like that with parents today.
Right? The bride price was not just that he was buying her, he was also compensating the family for the loss of the daughter's labor.
Right. Sure.
So, it wasn't just that she was a belonging.
Right.
She was also a very, very busy, contributing, necessary member of the household.
Right.
So the betrothal period typically lasted a year or two.
Oh, wow.
But during that time, she is legally married to him.
Oh.
And so, yeah. So she is legally bound to him and still lives at home with her father. But during the betrothal, she has to, like, wear a veil over her face so that when she's in public, it shows that she's off the market. She's taken.
Got it.
So...
Are they, like, getting it on at that
No.
point?
No. They have to remain very apart from each other. Okay. And that's part of...
It's a long betrothal.
Yeah.
Especially for, like, way back then, because people died a lot. You know?
Right.
Like, I mean, just like, a year or two?
It also gave a chance to show if the man was serious or not.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And also because during that time period... While they're working out the details together and setting up this business plan, the husband to be, the groom, is preparing the space for her in his own family's house.
Got it.
So, because they didn't go get their own house, the woman always went and joined the man's family.
Got it.
And so it was less that the groom was giving compensation, more that the groom and his family, since they were all gaining another person, they were compensating the other family for their loss of a helpmate.
Right.
So, okay, so that's the first part of the process.
Okay. Yep.
And then the second part is when the new house space was ready for her, he would come and sneak over and steal away his bride. Now, she knew it was, like, coming, so she'd be packed and ready.
Yeah.
But that was, like, their big, you know...
Tradition
thing. Yeah.
So there wasn't really a wedding, per se. It was just a...
There might be a dinner and a feast later.
Okay.
But there wasn't this big, like, let's all go to a Sandals beach wedding,
right,
and fly in all of our family from across the world and have hundreds of guests in an open bar. It wasn't like that.
I feel like that would be an interesting episode sometime to cover, like, the history of weddings and stuff like that as far as religious weddings go, because I know, like, certain cultures have there's different very interesting religious wedding types that are kind of neat.
Well, weddings as we see them today, particularly in America, have only come into vogue in the last 200 years.
Right.
And even the engagement ring, I think, only started in, like, the 1800s.
Right. I know that was kind of due to, like, the diamond industry itself.
The diamond industry itself, yes. Like, they turned it into a Hallmark card moment.
Right.
And so now, you know, consumers that we are in America, we've just turned the whole thing into an extravaganza that's not what it was.
Yeah, I started learning some of this stuff years ago, like how engagement rings and just like Hallmark holidays and stuff like that, you know, and it's such like it's
a joy kill.
It really is. Like, you think all this stuff is growing up, you think all this stuff is like these holidays, right? They're traditions
and rituals that you look forward to.
And then you realize it's an overblown commercial.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck. The fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
That makes me really happy for how we got married, which is very small scale, and we did not spend hardly any money at all. And
I did get a ticket on the way to the wedding.
You did get a ticket.
So we did spend some money on that ticket, but
you were speeding to your wedding, and I cannot believe that motherfucker gave you a fucking ticket.
I know, right? Like, my son was in the car with me. I was in the car. We're dressed up for a wedding.
And tell him I'm on the way to my wedding.
Right, and he's like, here's your fucking ticket. And I'm like, really, guy?
Yeah.
Man.
What a douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when you got there, you didn't tell me at first. You didn't tell me until after the ceremony. And I was like, really? Oh my God, we saved all this money and still ended up shelling out more than we wanted to.
But it was fun. It was fun.
It was a really fun wedding because it was so small scale.
Right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. We didn't even have a wedding cake.
No, we were supposed to have something, but that didn't work out.
Well, we had different family members' ideas of what the cake should be.
Right.
And then I was like, y'all take care of it, and kind of left it in other people's hands. And then the day of, found out that there wasn't one. So I was going to stop on the way to our wedding venue and pick up some Twinkies and strawberries. But we had spent so much money out of town that there was a block on my fucking card.
Yeah, nothing really went right that day. We didn't even have all the clothes that we were supposed to have.
Oh, yeah, because our son had left his shirt.
Right.
He had left the correct shirt at home.
So we didn't even have matching shirts at the ceremony.
I mean, it was a horrible but great day.
Yeah, no,
it really was.
Yeah, definitely.
The reason that we were so far away is because we had a friend who had cabin space available. So that's how we were able to get away with everything.
Cabin space and a building and a venue and like everything.
And then he loves providing the barbecue and the meat.
He catered for us, brought the beer. I mean, what more could you ask for?
It was ridiculous how much we got away with not having to contribute to our own wedding.
Yeah.
And how wrong everything went. But one of my catchphrases is that catastrophe now makes a great story later.
Well, I mean, we didn't spend a lot of time planning it.
No, we didn't.
Like, we were just like, we're going to go down here and get married.
Yeah.
And then we did.
It seemed like everybody else was, like, really concerned with the guest list. And, like,
right.
my sister was really concerned with the flowers. And I'm like, I don't care.
Right.
Fucking flowers. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
That's not the important part. Which kind of gets us back into this.
Right.
They're actually kind of what we have in mind, which is they were concerned about the important part.
Right.
Which is, how are we going to make this work for our future together?
You never hear about a $25,000 wedding back then, I bet.
No. So there was no religious rite that was performed with the concluding of the marriage.
Huh.
But there was a feast at the conclusion of the festivities.
That's very interesting.
So
no religious rites.
Nope.
Huh.
Well, and do you remember how the divorce was performed? All they had to do was present, like, a document that says, I don't like you no more kind of thing.
Right.
So
I guess I find it interesting that all this stuff went that way back in the Old Testament, right? When God was around.
Yeah.
But then now it has to be this certain way now.
Right.
And if you're Christian, why? God approved of this other way too, so what does it matter?
It's the same reason that the more religious you are, likely the more makeup you have on and the more expensive your clothes and jewelry.
Right. I am curious if there was somewhat of a more... I wonder if there's more elaborate weddings in the New Testament, because I don't know. I don't know where that came from.
Didn't really get into much of that. I mean...
Sure.
I don't know.
We're not there yet, right?
No, and I don't know if the time period that I'm discussing is far removed from that.
Right. You're about 1,000 years away.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, yes.
How much will change in 1,000 years? Who knows?
A lot.
I mean, I know, yes. But with regard to wedding ceremonies, that I don't know.
Right. I would say even with wedding ceremonies, a lot's changed in the last 1,000 years that if you took a 1,000-year-old wedding to today's weddings, a lot's changed.
No, absolutely. Capitalism will do that.
Right, for sure. Yeah.
So, I don't know how it was during Jesus' time is the question I guess you're asking.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's just interesting. Like I said, I kind of would be interested in learning more about the origins of weddings, I guess.
I mean...
So, just in general, because of what we talk about, because of our subject matter, etc. So,
got it.
That's all.
All right, well, maybe we'll cover that when we get there. Who knows?
Yeah. Sure. Sounds good.
If it's still interesting by then.
Right. Definitely. All right. Well, I think that's all we got for today.
That's all we got for today.
All right. Well, we are going to get on out of here, and tomorrow we will have our
weekly replay.
And then on Monday, we will be going into 1 Samuel chapter
26.
All right. We will see you guys then.
Bye.
Hey, wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.